On the 22nd of July 2011, Oslo was struck by a very powerful car bomb that went down just next to Prime Minister's office. 8 people were killed immediately and hundreds were injured. Norwegians trying to figure out why they have been attacked, why they have been added to the long list of cities that have been attacked by Islamic. They discovered that many reasons. They found that Norway has been contributing troops to the NATO war effect. They found that the Muslim community of Norway had not been properly integrated into the society. They also found that just a week before, Muslim preachers have been indicted for incitement, and while the country was still trying to make sense of this fog of war, there was another attack that happened a couple of hours later in school summer camp where more than 69 people were shot dead, including personal friends of the Prime Minister and some other member of the royal family. And of course, names started popping up with this was had to be a jihadist attack responsibility. Some Al Qaeda, the name started popping up, but ironically, it was none of that. This entire terror attack were the handiwork of one man, whose name was Anders Breivik, and he was the Norwegian, and he hated Muslims, and he was actually protesting against the multiculturalist policies of the Norwegian government. My second story is about this man. He goes by the name of Salim Durrani. He has many names. He operated in the valley for about 10 years. He used to move in and out. Defenses were and the boundaries were never a problem for him. He has a price on his head when he was operating in the valley, and he has been known to be personally responsible for the deaths of the two to three, 4 dozen young men. He is also a devoted Muslim, prays 5 times a day. He has his AK-47 next to him like a true warrior. His time he prays wherever he is. He never sleeps twice at the same place, not for 2 nights in a row. Salim Durrani is Mike Michael Smith from the Indian Army. This is a picture of him when he was major serving in the valley. Between him and his father and his grandfather, 3 generations, they have contributed 8 uniformed services officers into the Indian Army forces. And between them, they hold 6 gallantry awards and 2 commendation cuts. The young lad that you see was sitting on the left is Salim's son, who is now planning to join the Indian Military Academy and continue the family tradition for the fourth generation of service to this country. Now, when I told you these two stories, your mind instantly left to a conclusion that was wrong. You thought of Salim Durrani when I began as a terrorist, AK-47 Valley, and your mind jumped to a conclusion which was wrong. We do that very often. We take information that is coming to our brains and we stereotype it. And why do we do that? Because we have parochial people who have we are bad people. Turns out we do it because we are just people. And our brains are still evolving over millions of years of evolution, and it's incapable of dealing with all these inputs which come to us, hundreds of inputs in every second. So our mind filters these inputs and in some more patterns and absorb them and comes to a judgment. Let me give a few examples. Until I say this sentence to you, you were unaware of the feeling of your touch of your thighs on your seat or the touch of your arm on your armrest or the faint hum of the air conditioner in this auditorium. The moment when I said these sentences, Those pieces of information which were out there in your brain jumped into your brain mind and you could actually sense it. But until then, those sensations were being filtered out by your brain. And that's the way our mind works. At times, it just take two to three pieces of data and jumps to a conclusion. Let's show that to you with another example. Try and solve this math puzzle. Suppose there is a racket and a ball which together cost 110 rupees. The racket costs 100 rupees more than the ball. The racket's cost is 100 more than the ball. What is the price of the ball? Now all of us who got it as 10 just witnessed a way in which our brain takes information and jumps to the wrong conclusion. The answer is 5. The price of the ball is 5. Now the price of the racket is 105. That is why the racket is 100 more than the ball. But you heard the 110 and 100, then you jump to the wrong conclusion that the price of the ball will probably be 10. Now the second feature of our way of stereotypical thinking, we will usually think of the worst case scenario. That is why Salim Durrani is a terrorist and not amongst the thousands of Muslim officers and soldiers who serve in the Indian Armed Forces. And why do we do that? Why do we always gravitate toward the worst case scenario? Now the answer for that is also a human evolution of the brain. Now suppose when we went back into history, as we were evolving and there were two tribes. There was tribe 2 and tribe 2. Tribe 1 consists of brave, fearless warrior and they would see a mammoth and they say, I would take on this mammoth by myself. They had come to a chasm and they say, I run and jump across the chasm and flap my wings. And get across, they see a bright red fruit and said, bite into it, forget about the consequences. And tribe 2 said, when they say mammoth, I can take on this mammoth by my son, need to go and get some more people. Or they come to a chasm, they decided to walk all the way down, come to the other way, build a bridge or whatever. And those saw this fruit but say, I will stick to my boring banana. Whose descendant do you think we are? Tribe 1 or tribe 2? Obviously tribe 2. Tribe 1 didn't have descendants, they have died. So two elements, we jump to judgments. Those judgments are usually worst case scenarios. And the third problem is with this wrong judgment, worst case scenario, we also change physiologically, our mind changes the way we behave, biologically changes. Let me show that to you with another example. How many of you seen the movie Black? It was a sad movie. Many of you cried during the movie. Why did you cry? Amitabh Bachchan is making tons of money. Rani Mukherjee is not blind. This is all happening in a screen. None of it is true. But we still cried because her pillion brain didn't realize the difference between fact and fiction and started physiologically feeling sad, physiologically taking decision in an emotional state of mind. Now, those of you who didn't see the movie Black or what too much or not to cry during the movie, I want you to visualize one more example. I want you to visualize that I'm asking you to open your mouth and I have a lemon and I'm squeezing it on the tip of your tongue. I got lemon and squeezing that lemon at the tip of your tongue and that juice is going down your. Why are you salivating? There is no lemon in my hand. There is nothing in my hand. But again, your brain doesn't know that when you hear these words lemon, lime going, you can't stop salivating nothing. Because physiologically our body changes the way we perform, we behave, we take decisions based on the wrong information. Now, salivating on an imaginary lemon may be harmless, but stereotypes can be very dangerous. People get lynched by mobs because they believe that they have eaten the wrong kind of meat. Communal riots break out because based on false WhatsApp messages, photoshopped images. Countries go to war because they believe that the another country has got weapons of mass destruction. Countries leave alliances that they have been part of for decades. Bye.